Have you ever wondered why some men seem to effortlessly captivate a woman's heart, while others struggle to get her attention? You might think it's all about grand gestures or saying the right things, but what if I told you there's a much deeper psychology behind attraction that most men overlook? Stick around, because in today's video, I'm going to reveal how to genuinely connect with a woman and keep her intrigued, longing to win you over. I'll share powerful techniques and insights that will help you understand what truly makes a woman emotionally invested and why it's essential to avoid common mistakes that can push her away. As you may already know, the free content I provide here on this channel surpasses what many so-called gurus are charging for online. The only thing I ask in return is your like. It may seem small, but trust me, it means the world. It's so crucial that without it, YouTube isn't showing my videos to as many people as it should. And some of you aren't even commenting or sharing, which directly affects the visibility of this content. I really need your help. Not only will your like and comment motivate me to continue creating valuable, high-quality content, but it also helps the YouTube algorithm see the worth of this video, pushing it out to more people who could benefit from this knowledge. So, can I count on your like? If you haven't been receiving my videos firsthand, it's likely because you haven't subscribed or turned on the notifications yet. So, please, take a moment to do that now, and let's jump right in. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's get started. As you may already know, the free content I provide here on this channel surpasses what many so-called gurus are charging for online. The only thing I ask in return is your like. It may seem small, but trust me, it means the world. It's so crucial that without it, YouTube isn't showing my videos to as many people as it should. And some of you aren't even commenting or sharing, which directly affects the visibility of this content. I really need your help. Not only will your like and comment motivate me to continue creating valuable, high-quality content, but it also helps the YouTube algorithm see the worth of this video, pushing it out to more people who could benefit from this knowledge. So, can I count on your like? If you haven't been receiving my videos firsthand, it's likely because you haven't subscribed or turned on the notifications yet. So, please, take a moment to do that now, and let's jump right in. Over the years, I've come to realize that when a man harbors deep feelings for a woman, he often ends up saying things that do more harm than good, unintentionally pushing her away instead of drawing her closer. I get it, I've been there too. I know that overwhelming desire to express admiration, to show her just how much you appreciate her. But here's the thing, when it comes to complimenting a woman, there are 2 essential rules you must follow to truly make an impact. First, she needs to feel as though she's earned the compliment. Let me explain this. Instead of showering her with flattery every time you cross paths, which only dilutes the meaning and frankly, can become a little suffocating, let her feel as though you're discovering her, piece by piece. Let it seem as though she is slowly winning you over, like you're recognizing the special qualities that make her unique with every interaction. Think of it as a slow burn, where she gradually captures your heart without even realizing it. The second rule is perhaps the most important. Compliments should speak to something deeper than her appearance. I know she may have stunning eyes or a radiant smile, but how many other guys have already told her that? Do you really want to be lumped into the crowd of men who only see her skin deep? Or do you want to be the one who goes beneath the surface, who notices and appreciates the things that others fail to see? That's where true attraction lies. Here's a powerful technique I teach, one I call the golden mirror. There are several ways to use it, but let's start with a simple one that's easy to apply right away. Compliment her on something tied to her dreams. For example, if she's passionate about becoming a psychiatrist, you might say something like, "You're so easy to talk to. I can really see you being the kind of person others would want to open up to. Honestly, I feel like I've already shared things with you that I wouldn't tell anyone else." Now, This isn't just about making her feel good. It's also a message you're sending about yourself. By complimenting her in this way, you're subtly positioning yourself as someone who's in control, someone who is selective. Most men, unfortunately, will take whatever they can get. But when you show her that you're assessing her, that you're not just handing out compliments freely, she'll find herself striving to impress you. The more she works to win you over, the more emotionally invested she becomes in the connection. And as that emotional investment grows, so does the chance she'll fall for you. So by choosing your words carefully and complimenting her in a way that makes her feel special, you're actually setting the stage for her to fall harder, as she works to prove herself worthy of your attention. It's a powerful, yet subtle dance, one that leaves her longing to be the one to win you over. Before we continue, let me ask you something truly intriguing. Have you ever imagined sending just one message that could completely captivate a woman's heart and mind? I'm talking about a text that, when she reads it, takes over her every thought, making her think about you constantly. Even if she's with someone else or sees you as just a friend, this message would haunt her thoughts, igniting a powerful desire to be close to you. These secret phrases have the ability to trigger an obsession within her, leaving her excited, wondering, and desperate to see you again. But I must warn you, if you don't want her falling head over heels, stay away from these words. However, if you want to hook her, to make her eagerly anticipate your next move, then click the first link below to download these electrifying messages, and watch her start counting down the minutes until your next date. You'll be amazed by the magnetic effect it has on her. Now, let's dive into something very important. Women, in many ways, are meaning makers. They have this unique ability to read between the lines, to search for deeper meaning behind everything you say and do. It's not just about giving her a gift or complimenting her. It's about what she perceives it to symbolize. Take, for example, the classic romantic gesture of showing up with a bouquet of roses and reservations at a luxurious restaurant. On the surface, it's a sweet gesture, right? But what she's really thinking is something deeper. Wow, he must be really serious about me already. Maybe he's not used to dating someone like me. This feels different. She's attaching a meaning to everything you do, even if you didn't intend it that way. And that's where you need to be careful, because the meaning she creates can shape her perception of you, often without you even realizing it. This is why it's so important to be mindful of how she's interpreting your actions and words. Even if you're just being spontaneous or acting without a plan, she's already analyzing every detail, turning it over in her mind, trying to decode your intentions. The deeper the meaning she assigns to your actions, the more engaged and invested she becomes. And here's the catch. The more difficult it is for her to fully decode your intentions, the more emotionally involved she will become in figuring you out. Women love a good mental challenge. They thrive on it. If you're too easy to figure out, you risk losing her interest. But when she's constantly guessing, wondering what you're thinking, that's when she becomes hooked. I always tell my clients, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is letting a woman figure you out too quickly. If she does, it's over. She'll lose interest. Women don't want a predictable man, one who wears his heart on his sleeve and leaves nothing to the imagination. What they crave, what truly excites them, is the mystery, the unpredictability. And this is where you can really captivate her, by making her work for your attention. When you keep her guessing, it creates a mental game she can't resist. She'll find herself constantly trying to piece together the puzzle of who you are, why you're doing certain things, and what it all means. If you are still watching this video, and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. This is why the mixed signals approach works so well. Imagine this scenario. You tell her you like her, but then, and this is the key, you playfully pull back, creating a little emotional distance. You show affection and then withdraw. It's the classic push-pull dynamic, and it works because it leaves her with questions. What does he really feel? Is he interested, or is he just playing? This ambiguity is addictive for her. It keeps her mind constantly occupied, trying to figure you out, trying to decode your actions. And this mental challenge, it becomes something she craves. It's not about playing games, it's about creating a dynamic that keeps her emotionally engaged, keeping her on her toes, wanting more. The longer she's kept in this guessing game, the more emotionally invested she becomes in you. It's not just about the immediate attraction, it's about building an emotional connection that's deeply rooted in this mystery. She'll want to know more about you, she'll feel compelled to keep seeking your approval, and the more she works to impress you, the more she'll fall for you. What makes this so powerful is that it's not about grand gestures or flashy compliments. It's about creating an emotional pull. When you manage to keep her intrigued, when you can make her wonder what's really going on in your mind, that's when you capture her heart and her thoughts in a way that no one else can. And as she gets more invested, as she becomes more attached to the mystery of who you are and what you truly want, the stronger the connection becomes. So remember, the secret to captivating a woman's heart is not about being predictable, not about revealing everything up front. It's about keeping her wondering, keeping her engaged, and letting her slowly fall for the mystery of who you are. And with these secret messages I've shared, you can take your connection with her to an entirely new level, making her think about you constantly, long after you've sent that text. There's a technique I teach that revolves around hand-holding, and let me tell you, this can be a game changer. It's a subtle yet incredibly effective way to send mixed signals, making her feel a wave of curiosity, excitement, and even a bit of flustered confusion. The magic of this technique is that it's so simple, yet it has a profound impact on how she perceives you. I'll break it down for you in just a moment, but before I dive into that, I want to emphasize something really important. As with any powerful tool, if you use these techniques too often or at the wrong times, they'll lose their effect. The key is to use them sparingly and at the right moments. Over the years, I've learned exactly how to sequence these techniques to maximize their impact, and I'll share the sequence with you soon so you can use them like a pro. But before we get into that, let's discuss a small but mighty trick that can instantly elevate the intimacy between you two. Using her name, and doing so repeatedly, especially while maintaining eye contact. It may seem like a simple gesture, but trust me, it packs a punch. When you say her name and hold her gaze, there's this invisible shift that occurs between you. If you've ever had a woman say your name with that special kind of attention, where her eyes lock with yours, you know exactly what I mean. It creates a spark, almost like a current that runs between you. It's electric. And here's the key. When you say her name in the middle of a conversation, in a way that's intentional but not overly obvious, it makes her feel like you're deeply present with her. It adds an emotional weight to the moment. She'll feel seen and special. But it's not just the act itself. It plays into her natural tendency to look for deeper meanings in everything. When you do this, it makes her wonder, is there something more here? Her mind will start to race, thinking, what does he mean by that? Why is he saying my name this way? What's going on between us? It's almost like you're subtly laying the groundwork for something bigger, something unspoken, and the more she feels this connection, the more she'll start to look for other signs. It makes her more invested in the interaction and more intrigued by what you might be thinking. Now, imagine using this technique multiple times throughout your conversation. Each time you say her name, it feels like you're drawing her in closer, creating an emotional bond that she won't be able to shake. It's about making her feel special in a way that makes her think, there's something different about him. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I want to know more. Next, let's talk about a technique I call future projection. This technique is pure magic when it comes to building an emotional connection and getting her to think about you long after you've parted ways. There are several ways to use this, but one of my favorites is simple and effective. Here's the scenario. After taking a picture together, you casually turn to her and say, wow, we'd make beautiful babies, and then immediately shift the topic to something else. Now, before you jump to conclusions, let me explain why this works so well. At first glance, it might seem bold, maybe even a little random, but the truth is, it plants a huge seed in her mind. By mentioning something as intimate as babies, you're anchoring a future scenario with her in her mind, one where she's imagining a life with you, a future. It's not about rushing anything or making any declarations. It's about creating a vision of the two of you together, something that's far off, but still possible. What you're doing here is subtly suggesting that you see her in your life, in a meaningful, long-term way, and even though it's playful, it makes her stop and think, what does he mean by that? It's an unexpected moment that sparks her imagination and forces her to picture a potential future together. And here's the bonus. It plants the idea of intimacy, of being close to you in a deeply personal way. Whether she laughs it off or takes it seriously, it doesn't matter. The seed has been planted, and it will continue to grow in the back of her mind. Over time, she will start imagining all the different scenarios of what life with you could look like, and it will be hard for her to forget that small, playful comment. The beauty of future projection is that it's not something overt or heavy-handed. You're not telling her you want to marry her or have children with her tomorrow. Instead, you're opening the door to her imagination, and that's where the magic happens. She'll start picturing moments with you, imagining what it would be like to share a future together. This technique works because it taps into her ability to visualize, which is incredibly powerful. And even if she doesn't realize it immediately, the idea will linger in her mind, growing stronger with each passing day. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. The key to these techniques is subtlety and timing. You're not bombarding her with constant attention or overwhelming her with your feelings. Instead, you're giving her just enough to keep her emotionally engaged, but never too much. When you combine things like using her name to build intimacy with future projection to create emotional connection, you begin to create a dynamic where she's constantly thinking about you, wondering about you, and imagining a future with you. It's not about being overly forward or trying to force anything. It's about creating the space for her to develop her own feelings, based on the hints you drop and the mystery you create. And that's the secret. When you combine these techniques thoughtfully and with precision, you'll have her hooked, not because of what you said, but because of how you made her feel. You've created an emotional connection that she can't shake, one that keeps her coming back for more. Here's an important tip about what you should not say. Stop telling her exactly what you think she wants to hear. It might seem harmless to share your feelings or express your admiration, but when you talk too much, especially about how much you like her, you can actually kill the attraction. It's all too easy to say the wrong things, and when that happens, you risk pushing her away or, worse, making her lose interest entirely. A classic mistake is expressing your feelings too early. Telling a woman I like you right off the bat can be a huge turnoff because it prematurely strips away the magic, the excitement, the suspense, and most importantly, the mental challenge that makes the relationship dynamic so thrilling. It deflates the chemistry and takes the mystery out of the equation. When you openly admit your feelings too soon, what she hears is, he's admitting he likes me, and in that moment, she subconsciously feels in control. She holds all the power in the situation. Oddly enough, this can actually make her less interested in you. There's a psychological reason for this. The idea of the pursuit is what excites her. The thrill comes from figuring out whether or not you're interested and whether she's winning your heart. If you take that away by being too forward, too early, it takes away that emotional chase. And here's a key point. Every woman, at some point, dreams of the day when she can finally admit her feelings for a man, confessing that she's falling for him. That moment of vulnerability and honesty is her moment. When you voice your feelings too soon, you steal that moment from her. You're cutting short the very process she craves to go through herself. This ties into a well-known saying, we love to buy, but we hate being sold. It's human nature. No one likes feeling pressured or manipulated. The same principle applies to attraction. If you try to sell her on the idea of being with you or push too hard for her to like you, it will backfire. She'll sense that you're trying to convince her, and subconsciously, this will cause her to pull away. She won't always know why she's distancing herself, but she will just feel off about the situation. She may not even recognize that it's your approach that's causing this shift. The truth is, you can't force a woman to like you, and if you try to, it will make you appear needy, desperate, and weak. These traits are incredibly unattractive to women. The key here is to avoid pushing, and instead, create an environment where she feels like it's her decision to be interested in you. So how do you do this? The answer is simple. You need to let her come to the conclusion that she wants you. To do this, you have to make her feel like she's winning you over. You must position yourself as a mental challenge. Women crave the pursuit. They want to feel like they're the ones who are getting under your skin, the ones who are slowly earning your affection and attention. Instead of rushing to declare your feelings, let her gradually discover that you care, and let her enjoy the journey of falling for you. When you take a step back, make her feel like she's the one impressing you. It creates this exciting dynamic. The more she works to win your attention, the more invested she becomes in you. This is what keeps her engaged. In other words, the best way to create lasting attraction is not by telling her everything up front. Instead, let her build the story in her own mind, slowly coming to the conclusion that she's falling for you, and that it was her idea all along. By making her feel like she's the one who is winning you over, you're guiding her through a process where she can't help but become increasingly captivated by you. The result: she'll feel emotionally connected to you, and the attraction will only deepen as she begins to believe it was her choice to fall for you. And that's when the magic really happens. There's a significant biological difference in the way male and female brains are structured, and instead of letting this confuse you, like it does for the vast majority of men, you can actually use this to your advantage to captivate women and have them falling for you. Understanding these differences isn't about trying to manipulate or change who you are. It's about understanding how women think and feel on a deeper, instinctual level, and how you can use that to create attraction, curiosity, and connection. Most men make the mistake of ignoring these natural distinctions, but when you recognize how women process emotions and interactions differently, you can be strategic in your approach, and that's when you start seeing real results. As I've said before, the techniques I'm teaching are powerful on their own, but when you combine them in a specific, well-timed sequence, you can completely shift the dynamic between you and the woman you're interested in. Even if you're not her type, even if she's already rejected you in the past, or if she currently sees you as just a friend, these techniques will make her unable to resist being drawn to you. By applying the right actions, words, and timing, you can spark a powerful attraction that pulls her in, even when she thought she wasn't interested. It works because you're tapping into a psychological and emotional process that's happening in her mind, and that's when the real magic starts to unfold. A few days ago, I published a video where I break down the exact technique and detailed steps you can follow to flip the traditional dynamic, so that you become the one being chased rather than the one doing the chasing. This shift is so important because when you get the right sequence of actions, you can make her feel like she's the one pursuing you, which is far more powerful than you constantly trying to win her over. It's crucial to know how to transition from one stage to the next with a woman, always leaving her wanting more. When you do this effectively, it becomes much easier to turn her from just a friend into someone who sees you as a potential partner. It feels natural, and more importantly, it feels like it was her idea all along. And that's the key. When it feels like she's the one winning you over, she becomes far more emotionally invested. What I go into detail about in that video is how to recover from mistakes and how to reset the situation if things haven't gone as planned. If you've made errors in the past, whether you've been too forward or just didn't know how to handle the situation, you can erase those mistakes from her mind. In fact, you can turn things around completely, giving yourself the chance to try again and ultimately prevent her from slipping further away. Most guys make the mistake of thinking that if they mess up, it's over, that they're stuck in the friend zone forever. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that you can revive attraction, you can erase the mistakes, and you can start over with a fresh slate. By understanding the psychology behind these transitions, you can reverse the situation, get her thinking about you in a new light, and create the emotional connection that you want. Now, here's the thing. Most guys think in very superficial terms. They think, if I just stop texting her for a while, or if I play it cool and ignore her messages, that will get her interested. But these actions are basic. They're predictable, and they've been used by every guy trying to attract a woman. There's nothing unique or powerful about it. If you're simply waiting hours to text her back, or trying to play hard to get by being distant, you're doing what every other guy is doing, and that's not going to get you the results you're after. The real secret lies in understanding that attraction is built through subtlety, timing, and emotional engagement. not by following standard, overused tactics. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. It's about creating a dynamic where she feels like she is the one winning you over, where you leave enough space for her to imagine a future with you, without giving too much away too soon. When you know how to be confident without being overwhelming, when you know how to create that sense of mystery and curiosity, that's when she will start becoming emotionally invested in you. By using the right techniques at the right time, you can guide the interaction smoothly and subtly, making her feel like she's the one doing the chasing, and in doing so, create a powerful emotional bond. And that's why this approach works so well. It's not about forcing attraction or manipulating feelings. It's about guiding her through a natural process of emotional connection. You're giving her the space to explore her feelings for you, while keeping her mentally engaged and emotionally intrigued. By positioning yourself as someone who is not easily won over, you make her feel like she's the one working to impress you, which only increases her desire to win you over. It's a subtle but highly effective way to shift the dynamic between you two, and ultimately, create the kind of emotional attraction that leads to a deeper connection. When you implement these techniques in the right order, with the right timing, you make the process feel natural, organic, and empowering for her. She'll feel like it was her decision to pursue you, to fall for you, and when that happens, the attraction becomes real, deep, and lasting. By leading her through these emotional steps, you ensure that she feels more invested in the process than just playing along with your advances. In the end, it's not about what you say or do, it's about how you make her feel, and when you use these techniques correctly, you'll create a connection that feels both irresistible and authentic. So, what have you learned so far? I want to know, what's one thing from today's video that really resonated with you, and how do you plan to bring it into your life? Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Your engagement means a lot and helps us build a stronger community together. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us reach more people and continue bringing you more insightful content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.